Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sunset Stitches. My name is Trevor Conquergood, and I'm so happy to be here today. It's Digi-Talk number 14, and it's great to see you, Cindy, and also great to see you, Joyce, where it's 101 in Mesa. Holy smokes, that is hot. It's great to see you guys, and thank you for dropping by the studio. This is Digi-Talk, where you will find me on Wednesdays doing a little bit of digitizing and here to chat about it with my friends if they want to stop by. And so this is Digi-Talk number 14. And as always, I have digitized a couple of designs already to share with you guys. As you probably already know, I've been working on the Winnie the Pooh designs, and so these are the latest in my collection of Winnie the Pooh designs. Can you just see Pooh there trying to climb up the tree? And I'm going to work on a design today because apparently he falls out of the tree. But it's the bee tree, if you guys remember the story about the bee tree. It's been a lot of fun digitizing these Winnie the Pooh designs over the past 14 episodes. And if you want to, touch base, the whole episode is not about me digitizing Winnie the Pooh. We have conversations. People ask me questions. You might have a question that you really want to know, and you know that if you drop by, you can ask it. So that's a good time to drop in and say hi. But I've done a whole bunch of little ones. And I've also done a few of the bigger ones. So I don't know if I'll ever do every single one of these designs, but these are, of course, from the original book by E.E. Milne. And hey, John, how's it going today? Anyway, you guys, if you're a member of my classes, you have access to all the designs. So you're welcome to come and hang out with me in Digi-Talk, and you don't have to be a member. But members get all the downloads is what I'm saying. So some of the bigger ones that I did, here's the 100-acre wood. That was probably my favorite. I worked on that one for several weeks before I finally got it all done. But all that little tiny text in there. And so yeah, anyway, you guys, today I have a few things to talk about, and one of them is rainbow. And hey, Debbie, how's it going in California today? I'm going to talk about rainbow and how I made a rainbow, how to turn your designs into rainbow designs. So yeah, and before I forget, this week's free font of the week is called Poxel. And so you don't have to be a member to collect the fonts, but if you are a member, then you will have access to the font archive. So also, before I forget, I want to give a big hello to my son, Nicholas, who is working here behind the scenes to help me with the chat. So if you see your name coming across the screen, it's because Nicholas is doing that for me. And thank you, Nicholas, so much. So that way I can't forget to show my screen when I want to, So we're going to go full screen here in a moment. And I'm going to do a little digitizing. And if you guys have any questions, you're certainly welcome to ask me. This is a great time. So I'll check in with the questions. Okay, thanks, Nick. And hi, Tina. How's it going, Tina H? So before I forget, there was news from Sunset Stitches, and that is I have planned a retreat for the last week of August. It's an embroidery retreat. It's for the members of my embroidery club. And so if you're a member of my embroidery club, great news. There's 5 extra special classes that I'm going to be recording last week of August, and you're welcome to attend them live. Members can come live, but of course you don't have to come live if you're busy at the beach or you just got a great trip to the mountains. No sweat, because you'll be able to download those classes and enjoy them on your own time. So it's great to see you, Phyllis. So nice. I know that Phyllis is a member, and so that means Phyllis will have access to all this stuff. But if you guys have ever purchased my Embroidery Club Season 1 or my embroidery club season 2 at an event, or when you were in your favorite Floriani store, you might have purchased. These DVDs had, these cases had a DVD inside of them, but what's on the DVD, really, the DVD just had a portion of the content, and you were meant to download everything. And I used to send it all by email, but today I have it all on my website for download, and all members, no matter, regardless of when you bought these, should get access on my website, and I can show you how to do that. But if you haven't already done it, you just need to go ahead and get yourself a free membership on my website and send me an email. Say, Trevor, I bought that DVD, 5 years ago, and I would love to get on your website, and I would love to attend the retreat that's coming up here at the end of the summer. And so, calling all members, Trevor's doing an embroidery retreat at the end of August, and those will be some great classes. We're going to be talking about thread, needles, hooping, stabilizers. All of my embroidery recipes kind of come out and get featured in my embroidery club. So I hope you guys are going to attend all that. So I'm going to make my screen big right now, and we'll start with kind of a little bit of Winnie the Pooh and then work our way into some rainbow. And I'll show you guys a little bit more about the retreat. Okay. And if you have any questions, just drop them in the box and Nick will let me know. So go ahead and make my screen a little bigger, Nick. Thank you so very much. Well, first of all, these are the designs that you get for, if you're a member, then Digi-Talk number 14, there's 2 designs. So it's the bee tree, and then another one in kind of that series of the ones with the bee tree. So I'm really interested to see what everybody's going to do. I haven't seen anybody do anything with the Winnie the Pooh, but have you guys stitched any of them out yet? I imagine some kind of a quilt that features a lot of the designs, but I don't know if I'll ever get around to it. And so if you do, let me know. Or maybe it's just on a cute little onesie, for a baby or something like that. But here's some news. This is actually fairly big news. Digi-Talk number 15 is going to be on September the 4th. There will be no Digi-Talk classes in August. So we're going to resume on August the 4th, or September the 4th, sorry. The reason for that is actually because I need my extra time to prepare for my retreat in August. And I have some extra projects that I'm working on right now. And so it'll be good to have kind of a little bit more time for that. So we're not going to do any of our Digi-Talk Wednesdays. That said, you may see some videos. Nicholas is working on some things that'll help me to, even though I'm not going to be live, we'll be posting some videos. At the beginning, they'll probably be about the retreat and about, joining as a member kind of thing. But so that's kind of some news. This is my website. This is what I'm talking about, Sunset Stitches. If you want to get the font, just go to embroidery fonts, right? And anybody can come. Every week we post up a new font. So this week is number 28. The font is called Poxel. And you would just click right there to download it, and you can go ahead and add a new font to your collection. Here's the font archive. All of these are, I guess, the previous fonts. And so everybody that is a member should have collected all these by now. Or if you haven't, put it on your to-do list to come and get all the fonts. I usually do it every 10. So look here, after they'll be like, so you have to go to the actual download. This is really just showing you what the fonts are. But if I want to go to the archive page, it's probably going to tell me I need to log in. You need to have a membership to get to that page. I already have one, so I'll just go ahead and quickly log in here. So as long as I can figure out 1 + 1 equals 2. And so now I'm all logged in. And then, so if I go to my embroidery fonts, there is a link to get to the archive page, is basically what it was. And so now it doesn't stop me, now that I'm logged in. And what I was trying to say is you can do them 1 to 20, right? So there's one download for the first 20. And then, there's 21, 22, 23, up to 28. But usually every 10, I do another one. So, that so that you don't have to do it. If you're just joining now, you don't have to do them one at a time, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so okay. But before I forget, I'm just gonna bring back up the website for a minute. What I said was there's an embroidery retreat for members of my embroidery club, specifically season 2, which is the current season, right? That's been going on, for several years now, actually. But notice right here, it says the Embroidery Club 2024 members retreat. This is where I can learn all about the classes, what the content is going to be, or at least a general description of the content of what those classes will be. Like, if you're a member, then you'll be able to download and you'll be able to attend live. If you're not a member, then I guess consider joining as a member, right? You get a lot of stuff. There's a great deal to join right now. It's on for the month of August. If you click on account, this is where, remember I said, if you bought the DVD, go to view all membership options and just join with the free account, right? Sunset Stitcher. And then send me an email and say, Trevor, I already have your embroidery club. I have season 1 and season 2. And that's awesome, and then I'll turn it on. I'll once you have your account to log into my website, then I can control what you can access. And if you're a Floriani person, then I have lots of Floriani workshops. And my FTCU workshop number 4, that's the current one. And there's a discount code. It says the price is $129, but if you use the code Trevor99, so it'll reduce the price to $99.97. It's just Trevor99. But here for Trevor and Friends Embroidery Club, where I have season 1 and season 2, what I have is season 1 and season 2 together for a discount of more than half. So it's $119. You get season 1 and season 2. That'll get you in for the retreat, but it'll get you so much more, right? Because you'll be able to go to the Embroidery Club season 1 member download page, right? And collect all the downloads. And every one of these downloads has another, somewhere between 20 and 40 embroidery designs. In season 1, there's 420 embroidery designs. There's 69 videos. What are they of? Well, if you go here, what's in the new member DVD, that was if you buy it online, you just download everything, but originally people would have bought these in stores and at events. And so they would have had everything that was on the DVD. So this is what was on the new member DVD for season 1, and if you're like, wow, that's cool, right? You can click on it and it'll bring you like a bigger picture. But you get a PDF. These are all a PDF. You'll print your own book. When you're a member, you'll print all these pages and have like a little book that shows you all the projects. Here's a project with a little, for your slippers. You can put a little fox on your toes of your slippers, and there's a video to watch, and with information about how to do it, and what products that I suggest, and that kind of stuff, and the crochet doily, like this is the one that I'm, we're gonna turn that into a rainbow doily today. But bring me big, Nick. It's where did I go? Sorry, I lost my thing there. But if you bring me big, the doily is isn't that beautiful, right? I didn't digitize this. This was made by my friend Maggie. And Maggie is like one of the people that, contributes to my embroidery club, or at least she contributed, because Maggie passed away a few years ago now in 2020. And I'm sad to say that. She was one of my embroidery friends from England that I made. But she had the most interesting talents for digitizing, and this crochet doily, I can put this on my machine and sew one of these in an hour. That's a great gift if you're going to a barbecue in the summer. Bring them a beautiful crochet doily. But maybe don't tell your grandma that it only took an hour to make it, right? Because I know that these things took a lot of time. Lorna's grandma did a lot of crochet doilies. We inherited a lot of beautiful crochet work from her. So yeah, bring me back on my screen again, Nick. There we go. So the crochet doily is part of, you would download that if you got Trevor and Friends Embroidery Club, one of your designs. And so I thought what would be fun would be to turn it into a rainbow, and I'll just basically open up the design, and I turned it into a rainbow. Hey, Nick, what's up?
John was asking, do you get the download if you join FTCU Workshop 4?
If you join FTCU Workshop 4, you get the download. So that's a good question, because they're different things, right? So here, let me click back. So on my website, my Floriani Workshop number 4, I'm just going to go ahead and click on the member download page just to give you an idea of what you get. So right at the top, there's a link to the new live classes. So I guess if I hit that link, then these are all the upcoming classes for my FTCU Workshop number 4. And so any members can attend those classes live. However, when I go to the download page, these are all the past classes. And so, here's class 19, and our next class is 19A. And that's the challenge class, because we're currently having a challenge it's the Ripple Design Challenge, and last month there was a fireworks challenge. And so this is class 18 and 18A. And each one of these classes is basically a zip file that you'll collect. When you unzip it, there'll be PDF pages, there'll be a video. The videos are 2 hours long, so each one of these represents 2 more hours of video to watch. And the designs, and the artwork are, so that you end up with a full, with like a series of folders, for each class is in its self-contained folder. You download everything. You won't need to be on, you're going to download it and then put it on your computer and, and enjoy it kind of on your own time. These are all the past classes. And so when you join, for that $99, you'll get all of these past classes and all of the designs that were included into them. And I think our PDF book is about 150 pages right now. So you'll end up printing off, a nice binder that kind of really goes through what all these things are. And in a lot more detail. If I go back up to the top, it says, here's the link to the PDF book. So if you want to print everything up to the latest class, you would just click there. And so that'll take a minute. It's going to actually, you can see it's in my downloads, and it's like downloading the whole book right now. So it'll take a second, and then it'll, then I can open it up kind of thing and show you guys. But and it's the same thing for Embroidery Club, right? So joining Trevor and Friends Embroidery Club is similar to joining FTC Workshop, but it's all different content, because when you join Trevor and Friends Embroidery Club, and I said the deal was it's 119, you get both. So, every one of these, if I go to season 1, download 1, now you can see, what the projects were, what the design sets were. And if you go season 1, download 2, then you'll see what's in download 2. If you've ever met me in person, I was probably wearing this denim shirt. And the next time I come, if you want, you can make a shirt just like mine, and we can be matchies, because I've got the designs are right here, and as well as, a little video kind of showing how I did it. So Trevor and Friends Embroidery Club and FTC Workshop are different, because the Trevor and Friends Embroidery Club, I don't really talk about software. That download is done now. See, this is the Workshop 4 PDF. Let me open that just for a sec, John, and show you what I mean. And I can probably put it like 2 pages across if it's not already. Let's see. Yeah, so 1 page. So if I go 2 pages, and so basically this is where it starts at the beginning, and it's 151 pages and counting kind of thing. But these are the classes and the topics. And so I know that, the videos that I work on for the RNK Software Club are very popular, but they're very topic specific tools. And these are more classes where we're making things and you're being sort of challenged to try your own. And so then there are a series of challenges where people have sent in their designs, and yeah, we're going to be having some open challenges towards the end of the year for anybody that is working on a project, that's from a past class. I'll be having kind of a nice big open challenge at the end for everybody to get those in. But we've done everything from, embossed design challenges to patch challenges to, monogramming and initial challenges, cutwork, lace, fancy stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So this is the, just to give you an idea, all of that is in Workshop 4 if you pay the $99. So thanks for asking, John. I was going to pull up my Floriani here and show you guys. Here's the doily, right? And remember I said I was going to make it rainbow. Well, I've made the rainbow doily. I just haven't managed to stitch it out yet. But it's kind of a fun one to do. Like if I just zoom out, so if I go to my library and I click on the embroidery club, season 1 designs, now I'm looking at, these are some of the designs, right? So there's actually a lot of different doilies, like this one, for example, Bring Me Big Nick. I've got this one too. It looks like this, and it's actually an applique, so it's fabric on the center. And I do the fabric like two-sided so that it looks nice, both directions. Of course, because that's the cool thing about embroidery lace, right? Is it looks nice from both directions. But in this case, I digitized this one. So I know Maggie made the crochet one, but this is my lace. And it's a fancy lace border is what it is. So it's actually, you applique the fabric onto the Wet and Gone and do a lace border around it, and that's kind of the idea. So there's quite a few different lace designs in the embroidery club, season 1 and season 2 that get featured. Now, okay, bring up my software again, Nick. Thank you, buddy. So if I go looking for the crochet one, I might have to scroll a little further because that was just the first one that caught my eye. But I know that if I scroll through here, there's some more crochet work. Sorry. That's an edge, that you could repeat to do like, around a table or something like that. That's I guess a connectable piece, if you want to call it that. Oh boy, it must be somewhere down towards the bottom or something because it wasn't at the top, and I feel like it was something that should have been kind of like it was one of the first things that we released, which might mean it's one of the last things on this list here. I don't know quite what order they're sorted by, but all that said, I'm just quickly kind of scrolling through the 400 and some odd designs from season 1. All the beautiful lace angels, and there it is, right there, found it. So now I've got it and I bring it on my screen. Okay, beautiful crochet doily. How do you turn it into a rainbow? And that's a tool. Okay, if you don't have the rainbow tool, I guess you could like bring your slow redraw tool around, and then click a stop to like, and now I've basically split the little design into 2 parts. So there's like that part, that you could make one color and another. So yeah, you can manually do all this, but there's a whole nother way. And I'm just going to undo to put this back, to where it originally was like that, so that it's all one kind of color again, and select it. And so here's the rainbow tool. This is one that I always say it's something that you can buy. Like it's a program. The rainbow tool can be bought to add to any other Floriani program that you own, or it could be your first Floriani program that you ever buy. But I don't sell it. I just like playing with it. It's all, you have to visit your local Floriani store. Look at my doily and how instantly it's alligator colors, right? And unless I change it to beach, in which case now I can kind of try, a beach doily, those are cool colors, or maybe candy colors would be fun, and that's a whole nother look to it. So kind of what I'm saying here is that this rainbow tool has what I like to call themes, and you can come in here and say, what's Neapolitan look like? Oh, of course, it's got, dark chocolate, and light chocolate, light in the middle, because it's Neapolitan. But, what's Pop Rocks? And then you're like, oh, it's very cool electric colors. And anyway, there is one that's actually like the rainbow, colors of the rainbow, and you can just click on it and instantly kind of rainbowize your designs, and that could be any design. We could rainbowize Winnie the Pooh, the tree, right? I could select that Pooh tree and then just click on my rainbow tool, and it'll make, a rainbow Winnie the Pooh tree. Unless I change it to be the sherbet colors, in which case it'll change it to be a sherbet Winnie the Pooh tree. And if I just say okay, then it introduces all those color stops. So it's pretty cool. It's a fun thing to do. And it is totally possible to undo it. You click on your rainbow tool, and then you go back and you're like, yeah, and I'm going to make it none, and it'll go back to just being the one color kind of embroidery design that you started with. and so it's kind of a cool thing like that to do. So let's, I was going to do a little digitizing. I always like to do a little digitizing, and I got started on it. This one goes with the B series. It's part, I mean, they're all from one book, but there's several stories in the one book. And I've worked on a few of them. But there's still more to do, right? Like if I click on open right now, you can kind of see the ones that I've done, right? Like here's a picture, and then if there's an F right after it, that means I've done it, right? So I didn't do that one yet, but I did do this one, and so, and I've done that one. So I did the bee tree, and I did this is the one we're working on right now, poo falling out of the tree. But you can see there's more here for me to work on. And so we'll get some more done. And when you come back in September, we'll see, if I've got a few designs ready to go for then, kind of thing, but they're kind of fun. So here I am, in the middle of my design, and I'll do a little digitizing for you guys, and just occupy my time. But if anybody has any questions, go ahead and ask them, right? I can show you guys. If you want to know more about the embroidery club, just go ahead and ask. Or if you just have like an unrelated question, but you're a Floriani person, you just go right ahead and ask, kind of thing. So, do you have any questions already, Nicholas?
Cindy says, does the Rainbow tool work with BES4 software?
Well, the Rainbow tool is going to be something that is a Floriani program. So I don't think it'll go into your BES. But here's the thing. If you've got the BES, what you can do is you can do up whatever you want with it, and then save it, and then open whatever that is with Rainbow and rainbowize it, and that would be kind of the way it would work. Like, so Rainbow, here's kind of how it starts. I'm going to bring me big again, Nick. I'm going to go onto the internet and just show you guys here in the program that I'm at right now. See where I go on the help menu, and there's an option called the license activator. Well, I've activated all the software. I'm the software manager for Floriani, for goodness sakes. Of course, I have all the software, but if when you download it, this is how you activate it. You go to your license activator. There'll be a list that you can choose from, for what, and if you don't have any Floriani software, there is a free version, and then you can add to the free version. You can add Rainbow, you can add Fusion, you can add Sketch-a-Stitch. They're all options. So let me bring up my web browser again and just start a new one, and we'll visit rnksoftware.club right here, rnksoftware.club. And when you hit that website, this is like the Floriani software owner's website, and there's little ribbons for all the different programs that you may or may not own. If you don't own any of them, Creative Express is the name of the free software. So it's all the same install, no matter what you want to get to. At least all of these ones are. My Design Album is different, and Design and Quilt is different, Embellish Maker is different, but the Floriani ones over here are all one download. If I click on Creative Express, I could watch videos, to learn all about Creative Express and what can you do with Creative Express, right? So these are all training videos for the free program. But when I'm browsing the page, there's a link to the manual, what's new, but there's a link to download it. This is how anybody can get any of the programs, really, because once you get there, you'll find out it's all the same page, right? F is for FTCU, Q is for Total Quilter, S is for Sketch-a-Stitch, L is for Lettering Master, R is for Rainbow. This F over here is the Fusion one. And all of these are paid programs, and C for Creative Express is the free one. So if you download this, but you've already bought Sketch-a-Stitch, then you would activate it, with the license activator. If you added Rainbow, then you could go back to your license activator, and now you activate Rainbow, and now you have Sketch-a-Stitch plus Rainbow, and you there's no correct way to own them. You might have Total Quilter and Rainbow. or you might just have rainbow, but typically rainbow is going to cost you about $99 to buy it. And if you didn't have all the other software and you just had rainbow, you would still have a small text tool, because of course that's how you can use the fonts that I put out every month. And most of the people that I know already have FTCU. In fact, most of the people that I know already added rainbow to it. So you have this tool, and then it's real easy to go, because you can literally just go shopping for any design in your collection and rainbowize it. It doesn't have to be a doily, it could have been my cool pumpkin, and these are, everybody loves these highly detailed kind of coloring book style pumpkins and that. Here, let's rotate that. So again, this is from, I'll tell you what Trevor and Friends Embroidery Club is. It's, when I started teaching to digitize again, I still really wanted the ability to share embroidery designs and digitize them, but I didn't want to make design sets. Making design sets for sale is complicated, because you have to make enough pumpkins to make a set out of it, and then you have to make the pumpkins nice enough that people want to buy them. Here it's kind of like, for a very low price, you get a wide variety of stuff and a huge ton, $120, and you're going to get season 1 and season 2. It's probably close to 1,000 embroidery designs, you guys. Not to mention all the projects. A lot of it are project based, so it's a very good deal. You click on the design and you want to rainbow it, then you click on the rainbow tool, right? And it'll add those color stops. And so it says none, but if I turn it to, cool colors, then we'll get the cool colors pumpkin, and click OK. And it kind of just does that for you. So kind of fun. So yeah, the rainbow tool, if you visit any store that sells Floriani, they'll have it. If not, they can order it. It's something that they can get. Any store, if they're a Floriani, if they got the beautiful Floriani thread on the wall, means that they can sell the stuff like that. So yeah. Is there any more what would you guys like to talk about today, or would you like me just to work on Winnie the Pooh? So I'm going to work on Winnie the Pooh, and then if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask them. But you can see where I left off. It's the little black dot, Yeah, questions?
What's the key combo to nudge designs on your screen?
Oh, that's a good question, right? How to nudge. I mean, there's more than one way to do things. Okay, so I'll show you a couple. Here, let's just open up a new workspace and not nudge Winnie the Pooh around or anything like that. And, let's get in here, an angel, and just bring it on screen. So if you're going to have multiple angels, and you needed to arrange them so that they were, going to be occupying, the least amount of space or whatever it was. And you wanted to make micro adjustments, to nudge, I think is the term we're looking for. So a lot of times people go to their arrow keys, and you'll notice that when I hit my arrow key, the whole screen moves. So, that's not the correct answer, I guess. However, if you hold down your control key, then you can, and so it's like this. And so now when I click the arrow, it does move. So it's control, holding down the control key while you click the arrow key. So if you don't hold control, the whole screen moves around like that, up and down. But if you hold down control, so I guess I first of all have to select what I want to nudge and hold down control, and I can click down and it just moves. And it's a very small amount. It's very subtle. You might notice it. Here's a way I could make it noticeable. I'll bring a guideline in and put it just above it, and watch how I can hold down my control key and click the arrows and just nudge until it, lines up with that perfectly with that. And I'm just nudge, 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 nudge. Now I'm happy, it's right there. So that's one way to do it. Here, I'm going to move the line. So, not perfect anymore. How, another way to nudge it closer is actually when you have it selected, this selection box right up at the top here. See the little multi-directional arrow? if I click on the top one, it nudges up. And if I click on the bottom one, it nudges down. So, and they're very small amounts, so you might have to click if usually I pick it up and I try and move it as close as I can, but then if it's just not quite that, that last little bit, you might have to nudge it, and now with text, there's actual handles for nudging, right? So I don't know if we're talking about text, but if you're just talking about a selection and you want to nudge it, that is probably the way to do it, is to use these little arrows here, or you can use the arrows on your keyboard. But like I said, the first hit on the arrows is for panning. But when you hold control down, then you can nudge. And so there's your answer. Yeah, good. See, that's why I like to come, because I think people might have interesting questions and we can kind of just get quick answers. You got another one for me?
Yeah, what's the difference between Floriani Total Quilter and Designing Quilt?
Oh, now that is a very good question. Not one that I can bring me up so I can talk to the camera, Nick. I'm going to try and do this one without a full detailed description, because it takes time. And I'd be more than happy to do something like that. I feel like I've done that. Have we actually done a compare video? Anyhow, here's the thing. Total Quilter, Floriani Total Quilter, is a software that was designed for an embroiderer who would really like to have, the process to embroider the blocks in the hoop be automated. And so the tools and the functionality focus around an applique style of quilting. You can either applique it, or you can do what we call Floriani applique quilting. But the point there is it's all about embroidery and making the quilt with your in the hoop and the embroidery. And so most quilters don't really, aren't looking for Total Quilter, because it'll cause them to quilt in a totally different way. If you're already a quilter and you already love the way you quilt, Designing Quilt is a tool that you could add to your process that would allow you to imagine quilts, create quilt patterns, audition colors, audition fabrics, make printable instruction sheets, make quilt JPEGs. And so it's a tool for quilters to imagine quilts. And while it does have the ability to make an embroidery design, it does not automate that process. And that's where Total Quilter is totally amazing, because Total Quilter has a series of quilt blocks that are already built in, that are literally ready to embroider, and you can just click on them to choose what kind of binding stitching you want. You can design, if you want to do a quilt as you go, you can add the quilting into the quilt patterns, with just very easy click and assign. The shapes are there and you can just click on them. So really like Floriani embroidery, the way that we've made it, kind of the one-click wonder idea, that you select your shape and you fill in the thread. So you get a lot of quilt blocks that are ready to go. And the tools that you get are about creating quilt blocks that are for doing that process. So Total Quilter is and a lot of people have both. It's not wrong to want both, but if you Designing Quilt is a new program that we came out with just a little over a year ago now, in our Quilter Select family. It has nothing to do with Floriani. It does not join your Floriani. It won't piggyback onto your Creative Express. Designing Quilt is a totally different program that is specifically about imagining quilts, designing quilt. It'll tell you quickly how much fabric you need to buy. If you want, it'll give you templates for foundational paper piecing. If you want, it'll give you templates for rotary cutting, or written instructions for rotary cutting and that kind of thing. If you want actual size piece templates, it makes all that. You can type in the seam allowances. And so, yeah. So yes, Tina, Designing Quilt is similar to EQ, just a lot more drag and drop kind of oriented, right? It's got that Floriani feeling of software flow, workflow to it. And so, yeah, I love them both. I really do. There's several quilts that I've made that I could have never made without Total Quilter. Just not being an actual quilter, I was actually able to make some very cool quilts in my embroidery hoop. And the software made that possible. That said, if I was a quilter, if you are a quilter, I recommend designing quilts. If you love quilting and you're an avid quilter, and you don't own designing quilt, check that out. There's some great videos to help you learn it, and learn all about it, kind of thing. And join the Facebook. We have some great Facebook groups for both. When I say we, I mean RNK Distributing has the Quilter Select Facebook group, and we are just launching today is the new launch for the new Floriani Facebook group that RNK is putting out. So yeah. Good questions. Is there a program that has rhinestone options? Thanks, Wanda, for asking. The rhinestone options are in a program that's called Craft and Cut. And the Craft and Cut program has the ability to do like rhinestone outlines, rhinestone fills. And so it's also not something that adds into the Floriani software, but that said, it would be possible to create something using your Floriani software, but it would be a little bit more laborious because, there's not a fill that says rhinestone fill. Yeah, but that's a really great question. I personally loved decorating with rhinestones. It was amazing how much fun it was. And they combine really well with embroidery. And I know that we've got little wands and stuff, like Floriani sells some cool jeweling wands that you can just put them on. But when you learn to design a template, like a rhinestone outline to go around your cool embroidered letter, and then you put, cool rhinestone outline, it's very cool. Yeah. So yeah, anyhow, yeah. So Lorraine's saying that they have Craft and Cut to use with the scan and cut, and that is exactly what it is that we have. So all right, I'm going to bring me back on screen, please, Nick. And I'll work on my Winnie the Pooh here for a little bit and see what kind of chat. If you guys are ready to keep talking, then that sounds great to me. But I always know where I left off because of the black dot, so I can literally just click there and kind of get started, drawing along the lines here. There's no right or wrong to this, but usually I try and evaluate which lines are heavier and do them kind of more than once, maybe 2, maybe 4 times, maybe even 6 times, a line that's heavier. But then when I get to, so for example, this is the 3rd time that I've walked kind of along this road that I'm walking along right now. And maybe I'll stop right there and then zoom in. But then, I might decide that the little lines on top aren't meant to be so dark. And so I'll do them just like a single ply, kind of walking kind of back and forth, almost like it was a ladder, the rungs of the ladder. But that allows me to give sort of a finer line and then a thicker line, and it's, when you watch me do these Winnie the Pooh designs, you might remark at how very manual it is. I'm not really doing any automation. I just have, that, picture with all its little pixels, as granulated as it is, just up on my screen like this. And I just have my crosshair, my cursor going back and forth, clicking on the lines, clickety click. And, there's no right or wrong other than I do try to connect everything. I try not to just do a little bit here and run around and do a little bit there and run back and not, and just have no thought to it. So, that said, when you zoom in like I am and notice that I'm zoomed in like 1,200%, which is maybe too much, 600 is probably the most I really need to be, because the worry is if you go too big, you'd think you could put the world of detail inside of that, and in reality it might not be big enough, and so I try to work somewhere between, let's say, 300 and 600%, and that helps me to know how sort of big or small something is. So yeah, here I'll right click and stop. so you can see all what I just added there, and I can right click and stop at any point in time. But see how I did that? I just kind of, worked my way up and down that line until I got, basically I started right here and I kind of worked my way out here and back and then out here and then back and then up here and into this and down and, and back again, so that's like, I've done all that. So now I kind of need to do whatever I didn't do yet, it's not, or leave it out, that it's up to me at this point, right? Mr. Shepherd lost all control 100 years ago when he drew the pictures. But that said, Trevor's trying his best to capture the spirit and the feeling of these drawings. And so I've been doing them. The very first thing that I usually do with these is I set the size. So that way, it's not that they're not resizable, but I decide how much detail to put in based upon a size. So really, this design is meant to be sewn around 4 inches. If you get the design and you decide that you really want to sew it at 6 inches, knock yourself out, just resize it, no problem. That said, when you make, if you made it 8 inches, if you made it 12 inches, it might not seem as detailed because I didn't, try to include as much detail as I might have had I known that, you wanted to sew it at 12. So it's not that there's a right or a wrong here. It's just an observation that, I'm predictably putting in the number of lines that I think are good for the size that I made, which is the 4 inches. But you could easily make it, 6 inches, 3 inches, probably even take it down to 2 inches. And I think you'd be fine. When I do these ones here, sometimes I do the lines 2 times and go around them. Sometimes I just do them once. Sometimes I do them 3 times. There's not a rhyme or a reason to it. Sometimes when I do embroidery outlines, I try for a perfect red. When I say red work, I mean 2-ply. If you say red work to me, it means you did each line exactly 2 times. And this is kind of like that, but not really, because I don't do every line 2 times. Sometimes I do them only 1. Some of them I do 6, so it's line work. Yes, it's a run stitch design. And so I guess we could call that red work, but it's not always 2-ply, and although that said, and I'm just trying to remember how I got here. So something like that. And then, so, okay. How's everybody doing? Are you disappointed to learn that I'm going to be dark for August on Digi-Talk? Because don't worry, I'll be back. And, it's nice to know if you guys are missing it. And so, let me know. That said, Nick and I are going to put out some videos, so you'll probably see some YouTube videos talking about things like, the embroidery club and, what's all in it, or, the retreat and how to join it. And, looking for members that got those DVDs. You wouldn't believe how many people buy the DVD, but, didn't ever join my website. Now, they might have registered with me years ago and I might have sent them downloads by email. But I've added new content. And even if you got your stuff, years ago by email, you want to get on my website because there's new content, right? And especially if you bought any of my Floriani workshops, like workshop 1, 2, or 3, those are the past workshops, right? Because workshop 4 is the current one. And if you're only going to ever join 1, I say join 4, because that is by far the biggest. It's been the best. That said, workshop 1, 2, and 3 are very popular. A lot of people own them. The classes are outstanding, and people still buy them. You can still buy them. And workshop 1, 2, and 3, all the classes are done, but we added new classes in 2024. I did a member retreat for every, we did a workshop 1 member retreat with the theme was mastering the basics. We did a workshop retreat for embroidery club for FTC workshop 2 with a theme of blending colors. And we did a workshop for FTC workshop 3 with a theme of specialty stitches. And those classes, if you're like, I have workshop one, I didn't know about all this. You can download it now. It's there for anybody. If you're like, I didn't even know you had a new website, Trevor, then great news. Come and join the website, get your free account, send me an email, and I'll be happy to give you access to everything that you have already purchased. And then you can get to downloading and collect those classes, and you can enjoy them over and over. And I think that's what people love about a lot of my classes and my workshops is you collect them, you put them on your computer, and when you're ready for it, you're going to watch it. If you're not ready for it today, that's fine. You're waiting for a rainy day. I get it, or that's fine. But now you know that you've collected them and you have them, and you don't have to be on the internet. If you're on camping and you finally get the urge because it's a rainy day at camp, then you can watch the videos. People love that they can pause them, right? Because my classes are recorded live, but then you download the class and you have it. And so if you're if you're like really wanting to try things, a lot of times people will pause, watch 10 minutes and pause it, and then they'll go, to their computer and kind of try along. And of course, if you can't figure it out, you can always send me an email and be like, I totally can't figure it out. And then I help out, and that's really what I love, to help the people that are wanting help. I don't mind to help people, but it's not just, oh, Trevor, I don't know how to do everything and just tell me how to do it. No, people who take my workshops that write are genuinely like, I'm doing this project, and I'm, and when you invest to your learning, I'm so happy to help you. Really, I'm happy to help everyone, but I especially like helping the ones that are, really, taking the time to watch a video, to try and make the design, to do my challenges or any of your own projects. Yeah, I'm there for you guys. So that's why you join Workshop 4, because the classes are the best. And so the Digi-Talk, that I'm doing today, the designs, those designs go to both. So the font archive also goes to both. Here, I think I'm done. I'm going to right click. So what I'm saying is, if you join as a member of my workshop number 4, FTC workshop number 4 gets access to the font archive. That's where you can download all the fonts. Workshop number 4 also gets access to the Digi-Talk classes, right? Workshop 4 to the Digi-Talk classes. Well, it's the Embroidery Club Season 2 also gets access to the font archive and also gets access to the Digi-Talk. So if you join one or the other, you'll get those ones. You don't, if you've joined them both, then you have double access to that one little part of my website. But so yeah, that's an interesting observation though. So now I'm almost done. And the reason I stopped was everything that is up here that is touching, I've done. I may have missed a line or two in here, but yeah, so be it. I like it. I'm not going to go back and add them. It still looks good, right? But what I'm saying is, this is going to be an island. So will this, I'm not connecting. Those lines need to be, you need to jump to get. A lot of times people ask me, how do you get rid of the jumps? Well, you got to jump to get there. I can't get rid of the jumps. I can take the thread out of the jump, right? I think the question people often want to ask me is, how do I ensure that my thread will trim? When I jump, that might be the question. So did you have a question, Nick?
Yeah, John says, does each click of the mouse mean a needle point?
Kinda yes and no, John. That's a very good question. So when I'm doing this manual, like, literally I'm clicking, the program will put a needle point for every click that I make, unless I make them too small, because the program has a filter of how small it's going to let you. So if I zoom in really and I put clickety click, 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 and I put 1,000,000 clicks in there, it won't put them all. It has the ability to be smarter than that. That said, if I put them anywhere like over 1 millimeter long and under 3 or 4, it'll be exactly the clicks that I put, So, and I can see, look, I've just clicked right there. And as I move my mouse, it's showing me that's 1 millimeter. It shows that's length of 1. If I move it to length of 1.7, and then I move it down and I do 1.2, and I move it over here and I do 1.3, the software is going to put in every click that I put in and no extras. But if I pull the line over here and I make the next click 5 or something like that, I'm going to right click, and you'll notice if I turn on the needle points and I turn off the 3D, that, when I made that long one, it did add 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. And then this is the tie off, 1, 2, 3, 4. So on that, the topic that I kind of brought up, which is how do you ensure, if this is the last piece before then, and the next piece is going to be here, I can just draw it right now. I can click right here. I can go down the line. I don't usually typically do a line like this once. I probably walk back up and do twice, maybe even, 3, maybe even 4, and then right click, so I did all my lines myself. And notice the dotted line, like the software knows that that's not going to be there. But if I turn off 3D, there is a dotted line. You can see the jump to get there. But the reason the software is hiding it is because it knows that there's going to be a thread trim at the end of this. Most machines will treat that thread trim based upon how far is it, right? So from here to there is 20 centimeters or 22 millimeters, 2 cent. It's almost an inch, right? That it's an inch from here to there. So that's why you can be sure. If I tried to jump from this one to that one, it might not trim because it's only 3 millimeters away, and it's a setting within the typical home embroidery machine. What's that parameter? When will I trim? Yes or no? And if if I tried to start my next one here, the machine might not trim it out. But what you can do to tell a machine you want it to is when you select this one that you've drawn, you come to the little tab in the properties box that has the red X and the red circle. It's called commands. And in here, you can see it's set to have a tie-in and a tie-off. Well, those are important stitches. If you're going to trim the thread, you don't want to unravel. So you want to leave those on. But you could add in an end command to tell the program that it's meant to trim at the end. You add that trim command in. Now, even if it's really short to the next, line, my software knows that I want it to trim, and it'll add the trim code. And if you're using an industrial type of embroidery machine, you can ensure its thread trim will happen. If it's a home machine, unfortunately, if the connection between the two is too small, even if you told it you wanted it to trim, it may not, and that's, it kind of decides for it. The machine is the overriding factor, right? But I did this one starting here, then that one, now I can do this one. And so it's not that I have to go there and back, because I could just click at the beginning and click at the end, and then I could just click here and right click. But that's only a single ply. So if I wanted it to be, like thicker, I would probably come to my properties box and tell it to be like a bean stitch. And here, that is not wrong. I could do a 3-ply bean or a 5-ply bean, but I will tell you that if I do a 3-ply or a 5-ply bean, that will look different than if I take my manual and kind of click down and back and down and back again. This will be less organized and looks a little bit more sketchy. If you're doing sketchy style, I didn't want every needle point to fall into the same holes like a bean stitch would. That's all I'm saying. So no right or wrong. It's just an observation. I am manually digitizing here. I'm clicking to make the lines, and I'm clicking to make each sort of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of copy of the lines. So yeah, it's fun to digitize with you guys. And Vicky says, thanks, I'm out of time. And the reality is, Vicky, thanks, because I'm out of time too. It's a top of the hour. And this was Digi-Talk number 14, you guys. It's always fun to come online and chat with you guys. I hope everybody is a member of my embroidery club. And if you're not, I hope you'll consider joining. You're going to get a tremendous amount of stuff for the price. Tell your friends about the retreat. It's going to be an awesome retreat. It's the end of August. And in the meantime, the news about Digi-Talk is that my Digi-Talk classes are going to be dark in August. So I have my next scheduled Digi-Talk for September the 4th. However, I will be busy during the month prepping up for my embroidery retreat, and I plan on doing some videos to talk about that and encourage new members to join the embroidery club. So all that said, thank you to everyone that came and hung with me live today. It's always wonderful to see you guys. In the meantime, if you have any questions, you're always welcome to reach out to me, Trevor@sunsetstitches.com. All right, so thanks, Nick, for helping me out with the live today. Thanks to everybody who stopped in. It was great to see you guys, Linda and Noreen and Phyllis and Debbie and Vicky and John and everybody that came. Thank you so very much. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Until next time, which is not, and for Digi-Talk until a month from now. Hope you guys have an awesome rest of your summer, and I hope to see you in the retreat end of August. Until then, have a great day, and bye for now.